Welcome back to the Daily Taoist with Will S. We are talking about the Tao Te Ching and how to get back into spirit and alignment with the way. I will be your guide on these 81 voyages of these 81 verses. Today, I'll be talking about verse 66. The Tao Te Ching was written 2,500 years ago by a man named Lao-Tzu. It is one of the oldest texts in existence and certainly one of the wisest. Its wisdom is timeless and its message is as relevant and important now as it was back then, if not more so. It is vital that we learn to come back into balance with the natural world and to live in a more harmonious and selfless way. And the Tao Te Ching beautifully instructs us in bringing ourselves and our lives into alignment with the Tao. Verse 66. All streams flow to the sea because it lies below them. Humility gives it its power. If you want to govern the people, you must place yourself below them. If you want to lead the people, you must learn to follow them. The people will not feel burdened if a wise person is in a position of power. The person will not feel manipulated if a wise person is in front as their leader. The whole world will be grateful to her because she competes with no one and no one can compete with her. Humility is a quality that is essential to any great leader. Unfortunately, such is the nature of the human ego. The moment someone assumes a position of power, that runs the risk of assuming an attitude of superiority. Abuse of power by inflated egos is all too common a problem, not just in government, but in every institution and in every walk of life. A wise leader does not try to elevate themselves above anyone. They retain their humility and simply does what is needed to be done without a fuss or fanfare. Thus thus they retain their integrity as a living embodiment of the Tao. Posted by Rory at the daily.blogspot.com. Thank you, Rory, for the essay. I'm just going to add my little twist on this as per usual. We are in a midst of a storm, somewhat turbulent times, especially here in Canada and somewhat internationally. We hear things thrown around, you know, about leadership. What is leadership? And I just want to say, for the sake of argument, that politicians, or the politicians that we have today, they're not leaders, right? They don't know, they don't follow the Tao. They're not part of the Tao. They are not Tao centered, right? Um, Justin Trudeau is not a Tao centered person. He has become, even very objectively, if you see any of the videos of him lately, again, whether you're pro vaccination or anti vaccination or somewhere in between, it doesn't really matter. Um, Justin Trudeau is not a wise leader, right? A wise person doesn't lord over people and enforce ridiculous or uh, unnecessary measures just to show that they have power and they want to hold on to that power, right? If a stream flows to the sea because it lies below them, humility gives its power, right? And then if you want to govern the people, you must place yourself below them. Okay. That doesn't just apply to Justin Trudeau. That applies to you and your own family. that applies to people who own and run businesses. I don't ever want to be part of a non-Tao centered organization again, um, because they're all about profits over people. And if you start putting profits over people, you're going to lose your people, right? Because at a certain point in time, the high performers and the good people are going to find themselves wanting to go somewhere else where they can, they can still perform, but their time and efforts are recognized. We're living at one of the most incredible changes in society right now. Um, we seem to have sensationalized headlines almost every other day. Terrence McKenna says that we're entering, the late Terrence McKenna said we're entering into a period of novel time where things are just going to just speed up and get crazier and crazier and crazier. We have, uh, you know, at least in the Western world, uh, we have it pretty good, right? We can, for the most part, be ourselves. Say what we want, be who we want, love who we want. But we're 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 being imposed upon intentionally, right? And that's not an ego thing. That's just the way it is. I mean, you look at, you know what it took for the world to pay attention to what was happening in Canada, and it took a convoy of truckers, right? And I'm not saying that they did it in the most lawful way or the most legal way, but you know what you got to do to get attention sometimes? You just got to just say, duck it, and just remember that at the end of the day, you don't want to, you want to be remembered for the things that you stood up for in your life and not the things that you let slide, right? And um, just remember that humility is a quality that is essential in any great leader. Okay. So you have to be humble, right? Be humble in your life, be humble with your family. Don't get to the point in your life where you are in a leadership position and you are lording it over people, and you're making people feel uh, making people feel like pieces of shit, right? I've worked in positions where, you know, my boss or the company as a whole would make you literally feel like you were a piece of shit, okay? A turd. And it's not a work environment or a place that you want to be a part of. And the wisest leader, once again, does not try to elevate themselves above anyone. They remain humble, maintain their humility, and simply does what needs to be done without the fuss or the fanfare. And thus they retain their integrity and become the living embodiment of the Tao. Okay. This blog or this podcast is really about connecting. If you want to reach out to me, I'm on the Twitter as it stands at the Daily Taoist on Twitter, at underscore the Daily Taoist on my Instagram, and the Daily Taoist on Facebook. I'm the most active on Twitter. If you want to reach out to me there, feel free. My YouTube channel, The Daily Taoist. Feel free to follow, like, and subscribe. Really helps me out. I'm going to try to do some live streams coming up here. Once I hit verse 69, I'm going to try and figure out how to live stream the podcast. Um, that might get some more engagement. I'll probably live stream it to Facebook or Twitter. I haven't decided which one. I know a lot of folks are on the Facebook. I just prefer Twitter myself. Um, but maybe I'll put a poll out, and you guys can decide what you'd like to what you'd like to do. Again, thanks guys for listening. I do this from the depths of my heart, the bottom of my heart. I don't do it for the accolades and the the superficial stuff. I'm just trying to help people, really, is what I'm trying to do. And the Tao Te Ching saved my life. And if it helps somebody else get on the path to learning the way, then I've done my job. All right. I love each and every one of you here in the Mandelbrot universe. Please follow, like, subscribe. Do that on your favorite platform. I know this is on multiple podcasts and streaming apps. Pick your favorite one, share it, like it, follow. All right. Cheers from the Daily Taoist.